Reduce the music a bit. Let me go chatting. Ah, shit. Let me configure this camera here. Shoots them, my friend. Good evening. How is life, my dude? How's everything? Give me 1 second. I just need to configure this. I'm gonna reduce these lights a bit. Alright, cool. Alrighty. Well, how long has it been since I streamed? I don't know, a couple of days, I guess, right? Yeah, a couple of days for sure, I think. What is this thing? Okay. Is that by choice or something strange happened? Alright, so Leo has reported a bug that updating a thought is no longer working, so we're gonna start the stream with something simple. I just, by choice. Happy to hear that. Happy to hear that, man. Good. Alright, that's a bit weird. Interesting. Okay, so let's just start something simple today. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, so I've been implementing this image recognition stuff, right? Okay. How do you go when you have two different designs? I have two and I mean that's honestly that's honestly a good question, right? And the answer is, I guess, the answer can vary, right? And the answer is really useless. But of course, ideally, it would be great if you could show it to a couple of people, and you know, they could give you you know, they could kind of let you know what they like more. If you're on your own, if you have nobody else, then choose the one you like more, right? That's pretty much all you can do, right? Okay, so basically over here, right, we just need to do this conditionally. Like, hey, if there's images, try attempt to do this, otherwise, right? The feedback is always great, but again, you know, the better or worse design-wise is always a hard thing, right? Shoots them. So it's always hard with these things, because better or worse design is like saying, is blue color better than the pink one, right? It's a matter of taste. You could argue user experience, right? Is one user experience better than the other? That's absolutely can be argued, and some user experience is clearly better than the other. But user interface UI, that is a matter of taste in many cases, right? So we only want to do this validation if, in fact, there is actually an image, right? That's what our backend. And Doru, I love you, man. I had such a great time for you being here, dude. Thank you so much, man. I really genuinely hope you can come to my place more often, and vice versa. Hard Koner is my friend from work. His name is Doru. He's a designer in my team, and I would definitely listen to his advice than mine. The advice I share on design is the one that I kind of learned in my experience. But I'm not a designer, right? So I know things by doing, not by education, right? So. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a look at this very quickly. Update. Most likely I must have forgotten something, right? So what am I sending content? Oh, I see. Okay, all good. This is an easy fix. We hard. No, seriously, Dora, I love you, man. I'm still playful after you left. It was so nice to hang out, dude. Seriously, man. All right, so let's fix this very quickly. I guess here in the UI, we want to search for update thought. And that's probably, we're not stringifying some stuff, and that's most likely an issue, right? Ideally, I can see I'm not doing it here, so it would be actually quite interesting, quite smart to actually do it on a service level, so I don't have to stringify it in every single time I'm calling this service method, right? So this ensures that every time I send this, I'm sending it as an actual string, not as an object, because that's what my API is kind of complaining about, and yeah, this kind of fixes it. Spam TV. I love you, man. Good evening. Thank you for coming, and thank you for actually using YouTube, because then it goes. I think on YouTube we're almost close to being able to monetize shit. If I take a look at that, I think we need few more. We maybe need 500 more hours of watch time on YouTube to. Yeah, we need 570 hours more, and then I can earn off of the videos. Well, not I, the project can earn, basically, right? All right, so let's push this thing that Leo kind of, yeah. So I'm not going to enable image upload yet, because this image classification microservice that I wrote in the last stream is not yet part of the infrastructure, and it's not part of the infrastructure yet because a couple of days ago in the evening off stream, I kind of turned it, I'm going to show it, I turned it into a microservice and all of that. Unfortunately, I did actually upload a nude photography to it, and it classified it as an actual safe image, which was a little bit depressing because I made it all work and stuff, and then it's like, yeah, let me give you a nude photo. I did, and it kind of classified it as a correct one. So if I go to this programming network image classifier that uses basically not safe for work and TensorFlow, right? So I use this model, Inception v3, which apparently is the biggest model that's part of this library, right? And yeah, it kind of failed. Porn hentai. So you can see, is image safe? Porn hentai sexy. It includes the class name, basically one of these, and if the probability is greater than the threshold, right? And the threshold is 85%. So if the image classification is below 85%, then we want to fail, right? Which is here. It's in the constructor. Maybe that image was actually fine. I mean, no, it was a female image, you know, with explicit stuff, right? So so no, it was not fine, right? I mean, if you mean was it a fine image, it was definitely a fine image, but it was not a safe image. Was it fine? Yeah, it was fine, definitely. Right? You wish. So yeah, so a little bit strange. Like I have a Docker image, so everything here basically is like it's a fine-ish, it's an okay microservice for this, right? It's just yeah, let's just rebuild this Docker image, and then we'll run it. But yeah, technically this has failed, which means that this Inception v3, which let's actually research it just a little bit. Not safe for work. Okay, this guy doesn't know how to do it. That's not what we need. If your startup involves social media, make sure of this. Keep your platform safe by filtering out not safe for work content. Leo, my friend, good evening. Common, let us face it, you have a brilliant idea, you go ahead and add a bunch of unique features. Then you think you also want your users to interact on your platform. The next thing you know is that people start sharing inappropriate content. Exactly. You don't want your radiant vision to become just another hub for not safe for work, do you? No, I do not. I'm not exaggerating things. There's thousands of apps being misused every day in the same way. Look around you, blah, blah, blah. Cool. This blog, I'll show you how you can protect your application using not safe for work detection machine learning model. Yeah, we already have that, right? Alternatively, you can try using npm package powered by say model if you're using JavaScript-based backend. No. I mean, for me, this matters a lot, man. I want programmer network to be used by kids and stuff like that as well if they want to. So I'm gonna have a very low tolerance towards this crap. Very low tolerance, like. It doesn't really matter, man. I'm 35, and it doesn't matter what age I am actually in that sense. But I don't like that, right? I don't. The thing is, take so all of you now, take my advice on this. I've heard a lot of various arguments about various things in my career. Sometimes you will not be able to fully solve the problem, any problem. If you can solve that problem if you can solve the problem 5% of the time, it's still better than it was. If you can solve it 90% of the time, 80% of the time, amazing, right? There's no way you can solve in software engineering anything absolutely. It's impossible. You cannot prevent every DDoS attack, which doesn't mean that you shouldn't prevent most of them. You cannot prevent people to do various types of things, right? You cannot prevent people to cheat in video games, but you can prevent most of them, right? So it's just a thing that, yeah, you just have to accept as it is, right? And that's it, right? What the alternative of that would be not doing anything, which is not an alternative at all, right? Google Colab notebook. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I remember this thing, man. This is pretty cool, actually. Yeah. I mean, not really shoots them. No, I don't think. No, I don't think so, man. I don't think so, because with that mental model, right? Products wouldn't exist, right? Building products it's hard, right? Building good products is 10 times harder, right? And that's just how it is, right? Yeah, but this is fast API. Let's try the new ChatGPT, and if it. So, can you help me to do this using Fastify? Let's see if it can read this. I mean, yeah, I mean, I get where you're going. Don't take me wrong. I absolutely get where you're going. No question about that. It's just, it's a dangerous path to take, right? Humanity, 100 years ago has been using horses to travel, right? Or 150 years ago. Now we're flying, right? We're thinking to going to the moon, right? So knowing when something is impossible is something that you definitely need to know that it's impossible, right? Otherwise, if you accept that mental model, then you know, we would still be in the Stone Age, right? Because I'm sure that many people thought that eating with a spoon and not with your fingers is impossible, right? I mean, heck, how you didn't even conceptualize that exists, because how can you conceptualize it exists if it doesn't exist, right? So yeah, it's a fine line, but I get what you're saying. You're saying, hey, you know, it's just, the question is though, what I want to do is like, how can I run this model? Well, I think first of all, you should not use Express ever again. There's Express as a technology is absolutely obsolete. So let's forget Fastify for a second. You should not use Express anymore. Express is in every possible way outdated, right? It's not even maintained properly anymore for many years. So that's number one. So if you don't want to use Fastify, you can ignore that. There are various alternatives to Fastify. And of course, then Fastify is in every category of its word better than Express. First, let's use the least relevant one. It's faster, right? And I say least relevant because I'm sure you are not having scale issues, so it doesn't matter. But if you care about performance, Fastify as a technology and the way that it's architected is simply better than regex-based routing that Express has. That's number one. Number two, Fastify community has official Fastify support for packages. So if you go and check the official Fastify packages, they've been audited, reviewed by the Matteo Collina, creator of Fastify, and many other great people. So you have awesome packages maintained by the core maintainers of Fastify itself. That's number two. Number three, Fastify comes with awesomely balanced opinions over how some things should be done. So for example, you have Pino Logger. That's awesome, right? You don't have to use it, but you can. It comes with the AJV, another JSON schema validator, which is amazing, highly effective validation. You can validate your request, response, URL parameters, query parameters, all of it in 2 seconds, right? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. They can push it anywhere they want. Express either has to be rewritten or killed and made into something else, right? So Fastify, when it comes to, and this is objective, this is not me, I mean, you know, this is not me being a fan of it. I don't care about Fastify or Express or anything. I'm just saying, if you want to start a new project, you either want to use either Fastify or something like that, or you want to use Go. Using Express is is just simply pointless. I'm not saying that Fastify, that Express is bad. I still have a bunch of things running on Express, some legacy stuff that there would be no value in converting to something else. But I'm just talking on behalf of new projects. If you're starting something new, you should forget that Express exists. Okay, so let's try this, right? This is what I want to try, right? Let's try this. It's a bit crazy, but this is what I try. Okay, so I downloaded this model, which is 96 megabytes, right? Okay, cool. Aidakume, I love you, man. I always love when you leave a message. It makes me happy. Okay, so go here. Let's go and find, so we're going to take this large language model, and I'm going to go to this microservice that we've created, right? And let's create a new folder. Let's call this LLMs. Let's call it LLMs. I don't know. I've never worked with this TensorFlow and stuff, so yeah. And then I'm going to reveal in File Explorer. Then I'm going to paste this bad boy here. Okay, right? And we're going to actually leave this version just so we know what we actually paste. Okay, so if we go back over here, basically what's saying pretty much is that we need to point to the model JSON. Do we have model JSON? Model Oh, beautiful. We do have web quantized. So there's a quantized version. I don't know which one we should use, but I guess we have to point to this one. Okay, cool. So let's see if that actually works. So I guess we just need to provide a path, right? So I guess we need some path resolve or something. So we're going to say import path, imports, Jesus Christ, man, path from path, right? And then over here, instead of giving this string, let's try to give it a path, right? So here we say path dot resolve. Path dot resolve. Dir name is gonna give us back the current working directory in a way. Well, not, but it's gonna be relative to the file in which we are in. So right now we are inside of image classifier here, and the utils, right? Yeah. So then we have to say, hey. Then we might even need so go one level up. We can just, I think, resolve takes just args, right? Yeah, just takes paths. I'm just gonna do so go one level up. Actually, no, go 2 levels up, I guess. So we are inside of here. Then we need to then go into LLMs, right? I'm just gonna start here again, LLM, and then mobile net v2 140 224. I don't know what that actually means, that version. I guess that's some sort of version. And then what was it? It's model.json, right? Model. Let's actually, you know what? Let's grab this fella. Let's just say here const model path is this, and then we're gonna just give it here as an argument, right? And then we just want to print that. So we're gonna say path resolve. Yeah, we don't need path resolve. We just need the load, right? And then let's print this thing. Andre, I'm just trying to implement image classification from TensorFlow, so people cannot upload like malicious things like you know, like pornography, hentai, and all of that disgusting stuff, right? So that's pretty much it. It's just before I allow image upload in various places, I need to make sure that yeah, people can't do that. Okay, wait a minute. Fail to parse URL. So AJS code programmer. Network image classification, SRC, LLMs. Let's just see if this path is correct. SSL, LLMs, mobile net, v2, blah blah blah, model JSON. I'll just kinda. Mauser GP, thank you very much, man, for coming. I appreciate that very much. Thanks, dude. And I'm just gonna validate this thing. So what if we go ls and do this? No such file or directory. Okay, interesting. Okay, so this does exist. I see. So probably it's because we are in here. Maybe web model. Oh, okay, web model. Okay. So we have to go, yeah, I see. So we're gonna say here, web model JSON. But I think this is not the right model. We don't need a, but we'll see. Let's try this. Oops. Let's try this again. Jack, hi Jack. What's up with you, man? Are you good? Haven't seen you in a while. Fail to parse URL. Windows 11 is amazing, man. I have no problem with it. Fail to parse URL from Web model model JSON. Huh, interesting. So I wonder why is this not working? And what is this quantized thing? I wonder. Quantized. Let's try that, right? Web model quantized, I guess, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to answer that, man. There are some people on Reddit who think that lizards live amongst us and that Earth is flat, right? So I would be very careful about taking opinion from random people on the internet. Unless you can be more specific, then I don't know how to answer that. That is a very vague argument from the technical perspective. Like, what do you mean? It says what performance issues, right? I mean, people on Reddit think that we should be killing lambs on a full moon, and I mean, there's various things that people on the internet think, right? Which doesn't make it true, right? So you need to be more specific when you say it has what performance issues, where exactly, and relative to what. It has performance issues for what type of task and relative to what other platform. Because I'm not sure what do you mean. You need to state that argument a little bit better, right? I don't know what it is that you're trying to do, and it's slow performance-wise relative to what. I mean, I'm using Windows for streaming, right? I use Mac. I have basically two laptops. This is my work laptop, which is Mac OS, and this is my other laptop here, which is my personal. It runs Ubuntu because of my Kubernetes cluster here. But I mean, it's look. I don't give a shit about operating system. I use all of them, right? Something for the server, something for this. It's not. The point isn't that. It's just we need to be careful how we make statements which are often very vague, right? Because performance issues where, right? I'm sure that Windows might have performance issues somewhere. So does Mac OS and so does Linux. So we need to be more kind of we need to kind of understand more what are we talking about. But I mean, dude, like, but I can find you now, as I did in this stream. You have two people who are telling you the opposite, and I can go on the internet and also find people who are going to tell you the opposite. So this is the thing, man. Like, I'm sure that there may be millions of people who are going to say exactly what you said, and there's millions of people who are going to say opposite. So what is right? It's the only thing that you're basically here is is this some sort of are you? People are very binary. People are either one or the other way in mostly everything in life. So it's just bias confirmation, right? Like, some people hate Microsoft and they're gonna go and look for articles that support that claim. And some people who don't hate anything, they're just genuine, they're gonna try to find more balanced approach, right? So of course, I mean, there's literally no subject on this planet at this moment right now that you cannot find two opposing opinions on it. Tell me choose a keyword now and I'll find opposing, right? Yeah, you can revert to that, right? But the point is, like, there's no subject on this planet. Corona. You're gonna find doctors on YouTube who think that Corona was a fucking lie, and you're gonna find those who think that it's the most deadliest thing ever. So why would Microsoft and Windows 11 be different, right? I just want to actually. Okay, so basically this seems to only be. So please don't take me wrong, man. I'm not criticizing you at all. I'm just trying to genuinely help you let's almost say as a friend, right? Be careful about thinking about what people think on the internet, right? Because I mean, it's It's just you know, a lot of things are said every day in the world, right? And it has never been so much noise and so much crap that we have to, you know, filter against. Okay, so this load doesn't seem to be taking so this thing doesn't seem to be taking a local file. It just literally takes. Yeah, fuck man, that kind of sucks. Master, my friend, good evening. This kind of sucks because wait a minute. Where is not safe for work? Give me one moment, because like they have a node example that I believe I might have followed. To load the local model. Here it is. So we need to. Yeah, that's a little bit weird, but whatever makes it work, I'm happy, right? I'm from Brazil. I'm not from Brazil. I'm just kidding. I just always use these things. Oh no, I'm just kidding, because I never understand the relevance of this question. I'm originally from Serbia, but I live with my wife and kid in Denmark for several. I'm in Scandinavia for more than 1/3 of my life. Yes, but I'm a pure Balkan soul. Pure Balkan soul. I was born in Yugoslavia, to be more precise. On my birth certificate, it says Yugoslavia, right? So I'm a old-fashioned Yugoslav. Okay, so if we kind of follow this crap, right? Yeah, it's a bit weird, to be honest with you, but the fuck, man? Path to the model. I lived in Sweden for almost 5 years. Yes, I lived in Sweden for almost So I lived in Sweden for like almost 5 years, and then I moved back to the Balkans for maybe a year, and then we came to Denmark maybe 8 years ago. I'm very sorry. Just give me 2 seconds. I just need to make sure. So I think this basically expects a relative path, right? So that is the problem. Let me. Snage do svenska, yeah? The only thing I can say in Swedish is tak bara bra. Stanna här, stanna där. That sums it up, basically, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I'm gonna try something here. A file. Yeah, I'm just gonna try this. Yeah, inget till svenska. So wait, 1 level up, 2 levels up, right? Yeah. Path reactjs code programmer image classification LLM does not exist. Yeah, that fucking sucks, ass. What if I just do this? That also makes no sense, but I don't know what it is. I found this soundtrack on my Google Drive. It's 12 years old. I used to listen to this when I was programming. Okay, give me a second to load a local model. This is from hacker movies from the 90s with Angelina Jolie. I think it was her first movie, I think. Is it good libraries? Is it good practice to use libraries? I mean, it's. I don't think it relates much to the practices per se, right? Because if you are using the library or not, I wouldn't say that it falls. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just the I cannot answer that question directly because using libraries or not using libraries doesn't really relate to practices. It relates to being pragmatic, right? It's we are often very prone to install a library for everything, right? And sometimes that might even be good, right? But sometimes it's not. And if you need to do a lot of requests and if you have a lot of you have a client that talks to tens of different APIs, then you probably want to have something that helps you with making all of these calls. But if you have to call the API twice, then you don't need a library. You can just use browser built-in HTTP client or whatever. So it really depends on the details of that. Parse URL. So that's yeah, need green. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, it's like this. Of course it's like this. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit distracted here, I think. Yeah, I think we are good here. Wait, I think now yeah. What is all of this massive log statement? I don't know. What the hell is this? Yeah, I mean, I don't find this. Did I print something or whatever? No, I don't think so. But yeah, so now we're loading the local model, right? So that is perfectly fine. Okay. Class name and config must be set. Okay, interesting. Okay, so maybe now when we're loading this guy, maybe we should be hentai drawings. So let's go over there because this is new to me, right? So, and then here, let's try to give me 1 second. Blah blah blah. Let's just try to kind of, because we're using the example right from some Python thing, right? Okay, let's take a look here at the give me 1 second here. Yeah, that's a little bit useless to be honest for us, but yeah, because I think this guy is telling us that we're missing something, right? Most likely, like, because now when we loaded this model, it seems that it needs, let's say, error layer improper config format, node name input placeholder, blah blah blah. So it doesn't like something here. Improper config format, node name, blah blah blah. Shit. So what are we missing? Load file, blah blah blah. Yeah. Alright, give me a second. Yeah, I don't think it likes this. What? Raphael, my friend, good evening. How are you doing, buddy? How is everything? I'm sorry, I'm just still messing a little bit with this this LLM thing. Training model results. Yeah, man, I'm very good. I'm very good. Just trying to make some of the trying to download some. I downloaded some custom model, and I'm trying to kind of make it work. Delete. Yeah, I mean this. Yeah. So yeah, there's something that I guess doesn't work with this thing, and the error that we get out of this is quite ridiculous, actually. I don't know why. Class name and config must be set. So we are, in fact, now actually loading that model properly, but it doesn't like some configuration, I guess. After you have extracted this, you will find a bunch of files. The one we're interested in has the name saved model h5. Save this somewhere else, as we will need it later. Since this model is pre-trained, we can get things ready and start using it. Before proceeding, upload saved model to your runtime. Otherwise, you will get an error. Model path not found in the third cell. In Brave, this will we use here to download the image, blah blah blah. Using as detector later on is removed. We can then run the last cell with the URL of random images of the internet, blah blah. Yeah, I'm just trying to finalize. I mean, I have my microservice for image recognition done. I just need to make this custom model that apparently is good for image recognition work. And then, I need to make sure that it works, essentially. Saved model h5. Oh, no, it's not this one. It's this one. Saved model .h5. What if I do this? Yeah, it doesn't fucking like this, man. It's so annoying. And why is it using this as a path, man? It's kind of... I mean, wait, let me just do one thing. So I'm literally going to move this to LLM's folder. And then I'm going to nuke the rest of this folder completely. Right? And then I'll just point to this file directly. That's all I'm gonna do. Wait, we have a question. Sorry if I phrased the question wrong. I mean, if validate object received from the backend, one cons is that the entire component doesn't get rendered if data doesn't match the schema. Yeah, but Liquid, there's no stupid questions, man. Thank you for asking. Thank you for sending a message. It's just you would need to kind of give a little bit of a better example of that, right? Because I'm not fully sure what you mean, right? You cannot show something on the screen that's invalid, right? So that's why you validate it, right? We validate things so we don't show the wrong things on the screen, right? So that is fundamentally the reasoning behind it, right? There's no point. You cannot trade invalid data for good user experience. It doesn't work like that. That's like, you get what I mean, right? The path that's using here is completely wrong. I don't know why. Why is it saying this and then model JSON? That's like something feels off here. Give me 1 second. It feels a little bit wrong because this is not the path. Let's print this as well. Let me just build this image. Yeah, so this is the path, but this guy seems to be getting. Yeah, I think actually didn't we see something here? Yeah, over here. To load a local media, image must be in tensor format. You convert the image to tensor format with blah blah. Okay, but path to model. So it basically, yeah, so the path it takes is, yeah, okay. So basically this is essentially the path really that it takes, I guess. It takes the path to the root, I suppose. And then it finds the model JSON file, right? So something like this, I think. Yeah, I see now. Yeah, that's really dumb. That's really dumb. Yeah, and then the model here that it expects is, wait, where was this thing that I downloaded? Web model, yeah, variables. Okay. LLMs. Let me just nuke this. And then let me Chica, my friend, good evening. How are you doing? Let's just drag this thing here, right? And then here we can say web model, right? Yeah. Cleaning your room. Nice. Yeah, so now we're back to, yeah, the same issue that we had. Let's try quantized. I don't know if there's any difference. Good, man. I'm trying to load some custom LLM. I mean, it's gonna be worth it, I guess. We're here trying to set up some custom LLM, and look at this error that we got. It printed itself completely. Improper config format, dude. What the hell, man? Why? So basically, I think it prints this whole crap for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't feel like doing this anymore at this point, because I would expect this to work. All right. Literally, man. Literally. Okay, let's go back somewhere else. Oh, okay, so, oh, dude, shit. But I mean, this model is kind of the default model, right? And then there's the Inception one, which I don't actually know what the difference is. But it seems that the model we really downloaded is the same model we have there, most likely. So it most likely, maybe it's adjusted or whatever, maybe there's more data in it. But it doesn't seem that it's necessary, right? So if we just do this, this should kind of work again. And it does, right? The biggest problem though, so this is now using the default model, right? If we find some, and how do I, yeah. Let me just rebuild this Docker image, then we run the API. Oh shit, did I push the change, the fix that Leo reported? I don't think I did. Did I? Let's actually go to PN here, Cloudflare pages. Actually, you know, these guys are so amazing that I will fill in this survey, because no, I think I did. I think I did push it. Push. Okay, maybe now I did. Yeah. Yeah. Updating thing is fixed. Yeah. All right, let me just Oh, by the way, we got accepted into this startup program, by the way. Shit, yeah, I forgot to say. I just got the email a few minutes ago for customer IO. Yeah. Let me just finish the survey. Submit. It's just something I got from Cloudflare. So yeah, we got accepted into this customer IO. We reviewed the application. We're excited to accept Programmer Network into customer IO startup program. Yeah. You requested access to our free essential startup plan, which includes 1 year of access, up to 5,000 users, limited product support. Users over 5,000 will charge 5 per 1,000, right? Yeah. If you have more than 5,000 users, let me know so we can find a plan that better suits your needs. We also have an premium plan, blah blah. So yeah, that's cool, yeah. So that's a good sign. So we don't need to do much of our own infrastructure, I guess, for now. The only thing I dislike, and I don't want to sound ungrateful, but 1 year of access kind of concerns me a bit, which is why I'm in a slight doubt if we should proceed this way. Because let me show you why. So if we go to customer IO, this concerns me, right? This concerns me, right? So let's say that I now activate this, right? We would need to spend $100 in a year to just send emails. $100 per month, right? And this is very cheap for an operating business. We use customer IO at Dream Data. So this is an insanely good product, don't take me wrong. I love this product a lot. That's why, man, Stream is not covering $1 Leo. I mean, Stream is not, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not, again, it's about not making this product something I no longer want to do because it's wasting too much of my money, because it's already, you know, costing something, and that's of course fine. I'm happy with that. So yeah, so I'm a little bit worried about this. I'm a little bit worried that, I don't know, it's a lot of money. If this was $20 a month, I would probably consider. But I'm worried that I'm going to create too many workflows, because at Dream Data we use this product. I cannot show you due to, of course, NDA, but we use Customer IO. It's amazing. It's a beautiful product, but Customer IO is a platform for well, today it's a platform for various things, right? But in our case, we would use it for email automation, notifications and stuff. So in simple words, you can actually, I'm not going to actually give you a demo of Customer IO. You can create a free account, but in simple words, we would use it for email flows, for various types of things related to sending emails, right? But anyway, I'll need to think about before I click activate your plan, because it's amazing, but yeah. Okay, going back to our microservice here. It is very dangerous. It is very dangerous because once I set everything up and I no longer want to pay, I then have to do all the work again from scratch, right? So it's very dangerous. From the time perspective, it's very dangerous, right? No, it doesn't change the whole infrastructure, right? But it could you know, put me in a place where I have to now, you know, take a few days just so the existing functionality continues working, right? What the fuck is this, man? Why? Let me just, wow, okay, that's super strange. Either way, let me just push these things, and then I will most likely off stream. So I will actually deploy this. I will deploy this off stream as part of the infrastructure already. This image classification thing, it's kind of ready. I'll need to test more off stream the classifier, right? But if I go here and so this is our little, I might even, not when I say open source, who cares, but yeah, so we have it here. It's working, and we can test it a little bit, obviously locally. So I'll just once more I'll just rebuild the Docker image locally, right? And then we'll run that. So this is the one, right? Yep. So we're gonna run this now. We're gonna just bind to the same internal port, right? That's really all we have to do. So yeah, now technically we have the model running, and if we go to our API, right? If we actually go over here, if we go to Postman actually and check the history, hopefully there's history, right? Yeah, here's the classified thing, right? So if I go to body, failed to process image, interesting. So let's say image to base64. If you remember last time I streamed a couple of days ago, we kind of did this, right? Downloads. So let's use this drawing. It's 1 megabyte, okay? Let's go over here, over here, over here. Send, failed to process image, why? Give me 1 second. Ah, come on. Interesting, okay. Let's try another image. That's a little bit weird, to be honest with you. Yeah, maybe the images are too large. Let's try to decrease the size of this. But I would expect to get that error, right? So I'm just gonna go 50% and try that again. Oh shit, we're not running that container, are we? We're not running that. Yeah, that is the problem. Or are we? No, I'm actually running this, yeah. I am running it. Let me just nuke this one. Failed to process image. That's strange. So why? Did I like mess something up? Failed to process image. All right, maybe do this, right? So we don't overwrite the actual original error. Error is an empty object. Really? I mean, actually, you know what? I don't need to run this as a Docker image, right? Let's just test this, because now we have to rebuild this every single time, and that's obviously not effective, right? Let's just run this in development, right? And then let's just try hitting it up from here. We should be able to do the same, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So let's go over here and let's print this error like this. Cool. Cannot read properties to undefined reading replace. Oh, so it's failing here. I love you, man. Thank you for coming, Leo. Sleep well, my dude. So is it maybe the copy paste gone wrong or something like that? because technically this should work. Maybe I'm just sending the image in a non-formatted way, but yeah, this should technically work, right? Couldn't really replace. Let's print the image maybe. Oh, I know what the problem is. I'm an idiot. This is a wrong history. Come on, man. Really? Problem is, right, is that it's just I didn't test this using, so it's fine, right? So I think we need to make this a string, hopefully, as well, right? So let's do it like this. So this is valid JSON, right? Where's man? Why am I doing this in here? Wait. So this image should exist, right? So if we go here again, and here. So let's actually, you know what? Let's just say JSON, right? We have to send this as JSON. We're gonna say image. Then we're gonna go and grab this bad boy here, right? Copy image. We're gonna say hey to string, and now it should be fine, right? Okay. So it says it's safe true. Yeah, great, all good, right? And that's kind of okay, right? Hentai, yeah, that's drawing. So let's just make sure that I understand these well. So what is the value of these floating point numbers in the actual percentages? How close are these to 100% of probability? Because we're getting these numbers which are right quite like, these are like too many decimal points, right? So let's see. So this is kind of accurate, right? You could say this is pretty accurate, right? So drawing is no, not at all. Wait, what? Wait. So this is now drawing, right? Okay, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah. That is correct. Yep. Okay. I'm going to go to the off screen here, and I'm going to try to find a nude photo. I cannot obviously show that on the stream because that would be against the terms of service and also against my own values. And I'll just try to do that. No, that would be very bad if you saw it, right? I definitely don't want that to happen. In fact, I need to be very careful about this. So I'm actually gonna just gonna do this and remove the image immediately because I don't want that to. Okay. So now I can, because this is just a base 64 image, there you cannot really see it unless you can, your eyes can decipher the image from these, from the string. And now I actually want to see. Yeah, copy it by hand, exactly. Okay, so it works. So actually it works. So is the image safe? False. So this actually works, right? And that is good. That is actually pretty good, right? So that's great. Okay. So image classification works. Is it going to be perfect? Of course not, but it works. Okay, if we go to my Docker hub, memory consumption, we can take a look at that now. Bear with me for a second. We need to yeah, get the process ID and stuff like that, but I think it's less than 50 megabytes. Oh wow, I thought that wait, what? AGJS, okay, sorry. There is a limit, Alex. There is a limit. Give me 1 second, just bear with me. I think this should be fine. Let's see. My condolences. Yeah, I mean, yeah, to some degree, I agree. I think, I mean, I think honestly now, yeah, I feel you, and I know it's a joke, right? Don't take me wrong, but I think this job has gave me so much, you know, made me have a great family as well and stuff that, you know, it's hard not to appreciate it, right? And you know, you never know how long is this dream gonna last, right? Sitting and pressing keys and making money, right? So to some degree, yeah, I feel you, but wait, why is this not building? Build faster with Docker, build cloud, configure automated builds. Yeah, I would say it's hard to generalize like that, right? You can work in a very good place and exponentially grow, or you can be stuck in a place and not grow at all for many years, right? So quantifying this is very individual, right? There are too many variables involved to measure how much you progress, especially relative to how you were yesterday, right? So it's hard to say, I would say, honestly. Hard to say. Ah, okay, so the build failed. Okay, so give me a second. Why logs not available? What? Or maybe, oh, it's pending. Okay. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, progress is also depends how you. It really depends on how you measure progress, right? I mean, I work as a tech lead, and measuring my own progress has very little correlation to programming and frameworks and things. It has to do today with how good I am with working with people and managing them and stuff like that, right? So you measure different things differently at different times, right? I hope that you will not be writing programming and components for 30 years, right? Because that would be tragic as well. Okay, so why is this so slow, man? I mean, I have premium GitHub. Yeah, okay, now it's building. I've never seen a Docker Hub being this slow, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I mean, at one point in your career, right, you will get to a place where, you know, maybe programming is not going to be that fun. Maybe it will, right? There's no rules. Everybody's different. But that's why, you know, that's why generally in a society, you know, more senior people become mentors, leads, and this. It's because it's a shame to use them as code monkeys while they have so much experience to share and mentor others. So programming is a team game, right? If you have highly experienced people, you're going to have way more value from them by making others capable than sitting and writing React components, right? I feel like that, Chica, sometimes. I feel like that, I can tell you. All right, so we fixed this, right? So we're going to say close hidden box. Yeah, I'm aware of this one. We need to fix that another time, right? I do not work on it. I work on this project maybe 5 hours a week. How can I feed my kid and my wife and pay bills by doing streaming to 20 people? That would be a surreal life, would it not? I mean, what user data, right? There's like 10 of you that log in weekly. So, I mean, you're overestimating yourself, Chica. Unless you are a president of some country right now that I'm unaware of. All right, so this seems fine. So we have the image. I'm going to actually make this part of my infrastructure, right? But if we take a look at the infrastructure in a second, we'll notice one thing, and that is that now we have this service more or less done. So to either after this stream or today, so this is our infrastructure. So we just got this Docker image done, so we can just mark it green, add to the infra on Hetzner. So this is what I need to do. And then I'm going to enable image upload on various endpoints. And then most likely, when it comes to infrastructure, next thing that we have to do is going to be either the list monk thing, or we need to finish the bool mq thing, right? Yeah, so this probably this guy is the next one, right? So yeah, I will enable this guy, and we'll actually see how it runs on Hetzner. if we take a look at the if we take a look at the take a look at our so right now we're using 6% of the CPU, so we have a lot of bandwidth to go resource wise, right? So that's great. I was even thinking just getting an extra server for this, right? But I don't think I will, because it would be pointless waste of money, right? But technically what one could do, if we go to our current infrastructure, right, so we have 16 gigs of RAM and for CPUs, but we could in theory eventually do a server, let's say in Helsinki or whatever. That's fine, Ubuntu, whatever, yeah. And then this time we could go with dedicated CPU, right? So you can see for 15 euros a month you get 2 dedicated CPUs, 8 gigs of RAM. So I mean, we could, so you know what I'm gonna do soon. So once these large language models like Ollama, right, and stuff, once they become even more specialized and smaller, I think then we're gonna kind of try hosting this on Hetzner, because you can see some of these models are like so huge. But actually, there's what is this guy doing? 8B text queue 2K. Yeah, but we'll see. But I think server like this potentially could suffice a smaller large language model, and it would cost us really 15 euros a month to run our own LLM. Unfortunately, this doesn't give us a GPU, right? So does Hetzner have GPU line? Ah, shit, man. Look how expensive GPUs are, man. Ouch. Yeah, fuck. I mean, for projects like ours, of course. I mean, I could expose my own RTX 4070 Ti from this cluster that I have here, but yeah, we'll see. No, not at all shoots them. No, that would take a long time. That would take a long time and a lot of effort. I'm just playing something. I'm just planning something. Just thinking out loud, basically. Okay. So actually, yeah, we'll see when I deploy this fella to the rest of the infrastructure, how that works. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah. That would be great, Chica, because I also have this super powerful Kubernetes cluster here. This Raspberry Pi cluster. I really wish that some smart dude is gonna spend some time and enable us to use our Raspberry Pis to run some of this LLM stuff. Run LLM on a Raspberry Pi cluster. As you can see, I actually already... Oh, wow. Run Llama on Raspberry Pi cluster. I wonder the performance of this. I mean, performance must be so bad, I guess, right? This project is already 10 years old, and the time the Raspberry Pi 1 was used, and due to the limitations of performance of the generation, the whole cluster could only be used for the... Yeah, so I mean, people are doing it, right? People have been doing it for sure. And I have, 32 gigs of RAM on these Raspberry Pis combined, and 16 cores, right, if you combine the whole cluster. But yeah, you can't really cluster that. You cannot parallelize it like that, right? Raspberry Pi small. Yeah, so this I already have, right? I mean, you can see if I like SSH into the 4 Raspberry Pis in this thing here, if I say, you know, SSH RP1, which is my alias. So this is right. So give me a second. So if we say kubectl, right, get node, so you can see I have 4 Raspberry Pis running in the cluster, right? This is the RP1 is basically the master node. And if we take a look at Winbox, if you take a look at the networking stack here, right, if we take a look at our router, and we go to the interfaces, right, so you can also see them running each kind of plugged into a separate Ethernet port as well, right? So the setup is great, right? They're all directly. I just wish that the Ethernet ports were power over Ethernet, but because I have the adapters plugged. And then this is my internet. You can see it's basically 22 megabytes. Okay. Can you explain Elasticsearch? Elasticsearch is just JSON type database for doing full text search, right? Okay, so I'm gonna actually just save this somewhere and read this off stream maybe. I'm just gonna say infrastructure. Elasticsearch basically is a database where you would replicate some of your data to improve your search, basically, right? With each one of these databases, the cost of them is that you need to index and replicate some data. That depends what do you mean by super fast, right? Fast for what and relative to what, right? Yeah, I think you've been here part of my stream for a long time, right? So you know how I always say you need to be a little bit more specific. What is super fast? What is that? You need to define these metrics for yourself, right? I don't know. You understand what I mean? What is the use case? What is the fast for the given use case? How fast does it have to be? 1 microsecond, light fast, 1 second, 3 seconds, right? So you have to define what is fast, right, and what is slow. Because in most cases you actually don't need Elasticsearch unless unless most of your product is based on search, right? So you would need to be a little bit more specific there. Okay, so by the way, so now I think if we the thing is, look, let's just be clear here, right? So because these things, no matter what you do, no matter what your seniority level is, as a software engineer, you have to the discussion always has to start with pen and paper, right? Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Elasticsearch, Xer. That has nothing to do with that. When you have a problem like this, you need to first think about your data. So like you're now using if I am to translate, you're saying, let's imagine there's a service called usedcars.com, right? This is kind of you. And you want to find cars, right? You want to find cars. If this service is using let's say Postgres, right? You probably have a table that looks like this. You have a table called car, and this car, you know, has a name, description, and then hopefully, depending how you structured your data, it has some other things like brand, you know, fuel type, you know, is it diesel, is it fuel, whatever, etc. You get the point, right? Now we come to search, to the point of search. You want to search, you want to find used cars. Well, most people will probably try to find a car by name, right? Nobody is looking for a car by fuel type, I guess. I doubt that people go to search and type, you know, diesel cars, right? Diesel car. That's probably less likely. So probably somebody's going to go and say, I want Mercedes XYZ or Tesla XYZ, right? So you don't really need Elasticsearch for this, because you can index this table by name, and then you got your super fast search, right? But let's imagine that your users on your platform suck at naming things. So instead of properly naming their ads, so let's imagine you create an ad like this, and instead of using Tesla XYZ, they named the car Moonlight, but then in the description somewhere they write this, right? This is what Elasticsearch is for, right? It's for full text search. It's for basically use cases where that keyword might be found somewhere in some description somewhere, and you want to make sure that you include that record in the search, right? So, and I somehow doubt that you have this use case. Even if you did have this use case whatsoever, you can still use Postgres, and you can just use regex or partial thing, right? And you can say, hey, Postgres find. You would write that in a query very simply. You would just use like, hey, how about you try and find the Tesla in this text, right? And then, of course, you would work backwards if it's not sufficient. So now, exactly. But I'm just telling you how, as an engineer, you would approach this problem. So now you have your database that you're using already. You're indexing by name anyway. And then at one point, if the requirements of this change and you really need something special, then you start thinking about databases, right? Every project should always start with a single database, and then you should be adding extra databases only and absolutely only if there's so much value that it's like it solves a business problem, it makes money. Running multiple databases together is a very complex task. It requires a lot of knowledge. It's very painful, no matter what combination of these databases might be. You have to replicate data. You have to do a lot of things. You have to sync them. And having one database itself is hard enough. Having multiple ones requires. So I would say you should not use that, an extra technology ever, if you don't have to absolutely do it, right? Yeah. And actually, I forgot that I always forget to do this, man. I wish somebody is gonna, and I think my bot doesn't actually work. Fuck it. So that's basically QTR, how you should be thinking about these things, right? I think. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna close this. Did I? Of course, man. My pleasure. My pleasure. And don't forget, of course, besides the complexity of these databases and stuff, etc., they also cost money. I see. Of course, a lot of these databases, they have insanely good use cases and they can solve problems, but these problems for most customers never arise, right? So these are very specialized services, very specialized things that are used to solve very specific problems, right? For 99.9% of companies out there, Postgres really suffices, or MySQL, or whatever. And keep in mind, these are, in most cases, these things are always a business decision, not a technical decision, right? Because if a business decides to add such complexity toward the organization, that means that such complexity is worth money. It provides value, right? Just bear with me for a moment here before I just need to see. So basically here from isSafe, I'm calling my service. I'm going to have to update this with add some environmental variables and stuff. That's perfectly fine. And then if this guy farts out, basically we're going to catch the error in here. That is, yeah, That's a little bit weird though. Oh, no, it's actually not weird. Sorry, my bad. Because I was calling this service directly. So it's okay. It's okay. I was just implementing some image classification, a large language model for classifying images. And I think that's finalized now. I mean, for the most part, I'm going to have to just make sure that I add it as part of my infrastructure and blah, 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 and deploy it. And that should be easy. And I'm just like, yeah, this request log error really is not necessary in here because I'm not. So I should probably add Prometheus and stuff to this service as well. So if this service fails, I should actually be getting these errors as well. So if I take a look at my API very quickly, right, this guy, I think I'm using prom cloud or Fastify metrics, right? Yeah, exactly. So I think we should install this in this service as well and send the metrics to the same to our Grafana and Prometheus as well, right? So I think I'm going to actually do that. What is this? This is my So I'm going to quit this very quickly, and I'm going to say PMPMI Fastify metrics, right? Then I'm going to kind of mimic what I'm doing in my API because I genuinely have absolutely no clue. I forgot what I'm doing. So I've just been so long since I set it up. So I'm actually going to go to the app, to our app here. We're going to import this bad boy. And and let's see what I'm doing in my root project. Register exclude, no, okay. I want to register metrics, yeah. Cool. So we're gonna just, I guess I just have to register them. I'm gonna do that here. Just gonna dev this very quickly to see if that's okay, if that works. And what is there something else that I had to do for the sake of the metrics? Give me 2 seconds. Notable changes in features and requirement usage, exactly, right? Yeah, so this is, I believe, sufficient. If I go back to my root, if I go to the decorators, right, I have send error, for instance. And this is basically what I do to send the errors, right? So maybe I can, yeah, because this microservices that we wrote is so small, we can maybe just register this. Actually, let's go in here and then let's just register the decorator. Is it the decorator? Yeah, decorate reply. Yeah, I guess we can do this, right? And this thing should actually log to my yeah, this should work, I think. So that should suffice, I think. Yep. So now I should basically and I think yeah, I mean, the only thing now is that because this is a TypeScript project, right, I don't think that TypeScript is going to be able to figure out or infer that I have this thing, right? Because here now, technically, I should be able to say, you know, reply dot send error, right? Just as I'm doing in my API, like send error. So you can see this is the point, and then we give it an error. Okay. So I think what we need to do. Yeah, I mean, I use whatever makes code easier to reason about, right? TypeScript as a language is a beautiful language. It doesn't need a lot of the things that TypeScript brings, right? So for me, TypeScript really is just a small, tiny fragment of things that I need. And that's really it, because if you use a tool and it harms you, then then it's bad, right? But it comes with experience. It comes with experience, not of experience of writing code. It comes with experience of maturity and understanding the implication of using the tools in these ways, right? Because making things complicated, anyone can really do that. Making things simple, that is hard, right? That requires experience and a lot of other things, right? Okay, so if we do this in theory, then the error should be gone, right? And it is. So now our Fastify understands that we have a sender error, right? The question whatsoever is our TypeScript going to understand that? Because I had an issue with some tooling. Yeah, send error does not exist on Fastify. Yeah, so that's so weird. That's so weird. If I go to tsconfig, I do have the include here, and I have the types as well. Maybe the issue is that, yeah, this is problematic, so this should be src types. Maybe that's an issue. Let's try that again. Yeah, so I don't actually understand why does this keep failing, to be very frank with you. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. It shouldn't really be failing, because, I mean, even my VS Code is inferring this, but enable to compile, plus error property send error does not exist on type Fastify. Yeah. So there's something wrong in this tsconfig that maybe I was supposed to export this. Maybe I don't think so that we are supposed to export from a module like this, but let's just try. No. I mean, I'll just out of this pure desperation try this, because I don't want to spend time on something as silly as this, right? I don't think that's going to work, but it's worth giving a shot. Okay. All right. That's not gonna do, right? Will it? But it's fine. Okay. So I don't know. There's something JS does dev. Thank you very much, buddy, for your what is it called? Raid, right? Yeah. Let's give it. How do you do it? Shout out, right? Yeah. There you go, buddy. Good evening. All right. So yeah. So going back to this, let's figure out. Let's maybe give this to ChatGPT, right? Yeah. For some reason, my VS Code is actually inferring that, and it works, but my TypeScript won't compile, as it doesn't understand that we extended the Fastify. Yeah. There's a lot of that here. There's a lot of that here, for sure. Just give me 1 second. I'm very sorry. Just to yeah, let's maybe just try updated tsconfig, because the robot is really good with this, right? Okay, maybe it works now. Let's see. Nah. So you can see, so this is super weird. Like VS Code does see it. So TypeScript server that's as part of the VS Code understands it. But this guy doesn't. Make sure your Fastify file is located in the correct directory, contains the proper module augmentation. And I believe that in this little microservice we just wrote, right? Let's actually close the front end. We're not gonna need that. But if we go if we go to decorators, so yeah, we are decorating this thing, right? So that's correct. The only kind of bad thing here is that we're actually deferring this. So actually, you know what? Let's just also change the order. It had nothing to do with this, but let's make sure that I actually do this and then this, because this actually is going to take a while, right? Thank you very much, man. Thanks again for your raid, and I hope you also have awesome streams. If I'm ever around, I'll make sure to check you out, okay? Thanks again, dude. Yeah, so weird, man. So there's something with tsconfig, and it's always with these tsconfigs, man. It's a little bit weird because there's a lot of randomness in there, right? Let's take a look at this again. So we have src types, type roots. So these are indeed roots, right? Include specify list developer to match files of including compilation. Yeah, so all of that seems fine, right? Let's see what this fella has told us. I mean, I could literally just also explicitly point to that file, right? So here I can just say, hey, how about you do src types fastify.d.ts, you know? No, doesn't like it, okay. Yeah, the thing is, right, is that I agree with you, right? And this is unfortunately, so when people talk about lack of standards in the JS community, right? This is really what they mean, because the thing is with languages like Golang and stuff, you would never deal with this type of crap, right? Because Golang has Go format, Go this, Go that, right? And you're always using the same shit, right? With TypeScript community and with JS, right, you're generating these types of things on your own because there's no standard. There's no standard tool that does this. And it's indeed very strange that just needing to decorate a type or extend the type is it's you know, just giving us these pains, because this is not what you want to spend time on, right? And you can see that it's actually super weird, right? Because you can see that in fact the TypeScript server in VS Code actually sees this, it understands it, right? But the compiler itself doesn't. So if we go to package.json here, right, this guy doesn't understand it, right? Which is super weird. Let me try to just run tsnode instead of the dev. Maybe tsnode does understand it. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Same issue, right? I don't know. Super fucking weird, man. Super weird. Super weird. And I agree. Very useless. Not fun to spend time on, right? Yeah, I mean, there's no standards in this community of JS, right? There's no standard for doing this, right? So I mean, if there was a standardized way, we agree, this community, this is how we. Now, I wouldn't need to waste the time on this, right? Yeah, I don't know. Super weird. Yeah, I think this guy is also telling me to try that. Yeah, so let's try that, right? It's again just unnecessary, right? It kills the mood a bit, but on the other hand, you know, that's just how it is. What can we do? Nah, it still farts out with exactly the same thing, right? Let's try transpile only. I'm not actually sure what this flag does. All right, so this has worked for some reason. What does this transpile only does? What does this flag do, right? Let's learn. Let's just not copy paste like monkeys. Let's see what does this actually do, right? Okay, I mean, yeah, that's not really great, right? Because we're basically, so what we're doing here, right? What we're basically doing here, we are delegating all the type checking to our text editor, in this case VS Code, right? So the reason why this works is because it doesn't give a shit if we have any errors, right? So if I come here and I say, you know what, I want, you know, I don't know, like penned fair, right? If I do this, right, this guy is not gonna care, right? Still gonna compile shit. It's like, yeah, penned fair actually exists, right? Well, it actually doesn't exist, right? So I don't like that. This doesn't seem like we solved the problem. It just seems we delegated the problem. And you're right if you say, well, actually, you know, Alex, your VS Code is gonna complain. Yeah, it will, but this still shouldn't compile, right? Because now if I try to build this, this is still gonna fail, right? If I say pm build, it's still gonna fail. It should fail at least. Let's see what the build is doing. Yeah, it doesn't fail because yeah. So why is TS TypeScript compiler not complaining, but this TS node is complaining? Okay, because so weird, so weird. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. We just have to leave it as it is. Okay. Well, anyway, that's good. So the send error is recognized, right? So this thing works. It knows that we have it, so that's great. This is not an error. Sorry, this is no. So this is okay, right? So that's good. I just need this as such, and yeah, I think that's more or less all I need. Let me just go to my API. So if I go to metrics, no. If we go to the app.js and search for metrics, right? Exactly, yeah. It seems that's all that's needed, really. This service now is gonna expose metrics, and then in our once I deploy this, basically we'll just be able to yeah, we'll basically create a new app, and we'll just yeah, collect the logs from this service as well, right? So if we go to home, we go to actually here, Where's my alerting? No, that's not what I really want. Connections. Your connections. So we have alert manager here. We have Loki and Prometheus. So basically we have a Loki which is listening, which is running there. Actually, I don't remember how I did this. Alert manager, I do Prometheus. Nice, okay. Alright, we'll see about that. Mehmet, good evening, buddy. Okay, I'm just gonna push this. And I guess over here for tsconfig, actually, I will in fact just set it back to this. Okay, nice. All right, cool. And cool. Push this. Bam. Sync. Okay. And then before I leave you guys for tonight, let's just go to Docker Hub. Need to make sure that yeah, it's auto triggering the build every time when we push, and it should be. Yeah, we can see the build is actually running, and then tomorrow I can actually just use this image. One thing, I have this scout active. It's actually very good to activate this get continuous security analysis with scout. Know when users inspect their images, learn how they're introduced, blah, blah, blah. Enable repos in bulk and scout dashboard. This account is in Docker Scout free tier, okay? Let's see what does this offer, because security matters, right? Let's see how much money they want for this. Unlock the power of Docker Scout across your ecosystem, whether you're working Docker Desktop, Docker Hub, blah, 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 CLI. Build reliability and security in place. Sure, next. Continuously evaluate container images with the pre-configured policies. Using 1 out of 3 repositories from Docker. Okay, that's fine. For now, we can go with the free one. So we have image classifier. We have this one. 8 years ago. That's probably nothing I'm using still. And let's see how much does it cost to upgrade. Okay, we don't need this actually. So the only thing that this gives us is the number, right? And we only have two images for now. So we have actually space for one more. Okay, cool. So no need. That's great. Super. Alrighty. So go back here. This is still building. Let me just refresh this. So yeah, that's saved. Make public, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I think that's great. All right, fellas, let's see if anybody has a question or something that I can answer. Otherwise, I gotta go sleep. So if I can help you with anything, please ask now. I'm very happy to give you a hand. All right, fellas, it seems that we're all kind of sleepy. So let's just round up and let's see each other another time. I'm gonna basically, yeah, exactly. Looks like there's no questions. Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna deploy this thing tomorrow. I'm gonna deploy this service tomorrow as part of the existing infrastructure, and then we go from there, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody, and I wish you everybody good night. I'll see you guys another time. Peace out, everybody. Bye bye.